Hey guys, Carl97 again. This time with a review of the R44 scale high-grade Universal Century RX-78-2 Gundam Revive version from the original Gundam series. Now for colors, we get the usual Gundam colors. We have the red, the blue, the yellow, and then the gray for the joints. But what isn't quite as usual is the white, which seems to have a slight greenish tint on it, especially if you compare it to the pure white of the Operation V RX-78-2 high grade. What also isn't quite as usual is that the eyes this time around are actually molded in clear yellow plastic. That is really cool. And that's something you really don't often see with high grades, almost never. On to the stickers, and these are also pretty cool. First, we have these two silver ones, and they really took something from the F90's playbook here. These two silver ones actually go behind the eyes and give them kind of a shine. It's not super noticeable, but it is there, especially if like the RX-78-2 is up a bit higher and you're looking at it from the bottom more, then they do shine a bit. Like I said, not super noticeable, but it is there. Then for the eyes, we of course also get just a normal sticker. Now, normally these yellow eye bits would be a part of the sticker. What I did, I just cut out the eyes, then applied the black sticker around the eye. So essentially I didn't have to paint them, and I still got those very nice clear eyes. It's very easy to do. Just make sure that your hobby knife is very sharp. Then we get two red pieces for the front camera, the back camera, and also one for the crotch piece with the V symbol. Meaning the only thing you have to paint on this thing are the vents on his kneecaps. Moving on to articulation. The head goes up nicely, down nicely, rotates around all the way, forwards and backwards. Chicken movement. Then the arms rotate around all the way, and this is where the articulation gets pretty cool. Now, we have the usual backwards and forwards on the ball joint, a bit up and down on that ball joint. Usually, we would get forwards and backwards on a hinge. This hinge, however, has what I'm going to call the final shooting gimmick. Because yes, this thing has the articulation in high grade to pull off the final shooting pose. Now, of course, you do sacrifice that forwards and backwards movement, but it's pretty damn cool that you can copy that very epic moment from the anime. And of course, the arms rotate around all the way, bent at a double joint at the elbow, goes up all the way. Then hands on ball joints will wiggle around, turn around, and do everything a ball joint does. Then the waist will go forwards and backwards nicely, wiggle around on that bottom ball joint, and also a bit side to side on that ball joint, because the top joint is just a hinge that will allow it to go forwards and backwards. Then on the backpack, no movement here whatsoever. Thrusters are just pegged in there. Front skirts, as always, molded together, but can be separated, meaning the legs can go nicely forwards and backwards about that far, because of course no movement at all on that back skirt. Legs will go out very nicely as far as the side skirts will allow, all the way. Then the legs will of course also rotate around. What also rotates around is, there we go, the body all the way, then double jointed knees. The feet, they're on a hinge at the top, a ball joint at the bottom, forwards and backwards on that hinge. Then on the ball joint, there we go, backwards the same way. Then we'll go a bit side to side, not too much, but it's still nice. Rotate around on the bottom ball joint about that far. The reason for that being, of course, a nice internal detail that's going on there. Some really good looking pistons. Of course, they're not functional, but they look pretty nice. What isn't as nice is the bottom of the feet are pretty hollow. Come on, people, it is a Revive line. One piece of articulation I almost forgot to mention was the swivel joint with the legs, which will of course allow them to have slightly more articulation. Also, that is a point where the action base connects to. So overall for articulation, it has that typical solid revive articulation, which means it's awesome, with the added benefit of the last shooting pose. And for more epicness, let's have a look at the accessories. First of all, we get those glorious long beam saber blades. Two of them, and just a quick comparison with the older ones, as you can see, these are a bit longer. Not super much longer to the point where they look ridiculous on a high grade, but exactly the nice length. Here they are next to a master grade beam blade, and as you can see, it fits just nicely into the middle. Also has that bubble at the base. And the coolest thing, of course, is these have the same peg as the older, shorter ones. So if for some reason you like these better, you can use these on the RX-78-2. Or of course, if you want to give one of these to one of your older model kits, once again, feel free to go crazy. The beam sabers themselves fit into the hands absolutely perfectly. Combined with the length of those beam saber blades, those are really sweet beam sabers. But we get more awesome accessories. Starting off, of course, the Gundam's famous beam rifle. Has all the center articulation, scope moves left to right, handle moves left to right, and this time around, the scope is actually molded in yellow, just like the Revive gun cannon. Fits into the hand absolutely solidly. And well, there you go. Of course, with the handle, we'll go into the other hand, but we're going to use that hand for something a bit different. The Hyper Bazooka. Now, first of all, of course, according to the manual, you're gonna have to use a trigger finger hand for it. Just like the beam rifle, fits monumentally in that hand. And this trigger, this handle will also go backwards and forwards a bit. Unfortunately, this handle doesn't move at all. Now, back to the hands. What the manual doesn't mention is that the bazooka fits just as well into the left and also right holding hand as it fits into the trigger finger hand. Just gonna make sure it's low enough so that the trigger doesn't get in the way. And there we go. This absolutely feels like it was made to hold on to the bazooka just so you could dual wield. The manual isn't going to tell you that you can do this, but you can absolutely do it. Because who doesn't want to dual wield with a model kit that comes with two weapons? It's only natural to want to do that. But say you don't want to use a bazooka for some reason, you can store it with this peg here. Simply remove this. This comes in its place. It's just the same system as with the old higher tunnel century. Simply pop up the bazooka, and then this clicks into place. There we go. Then the final accessory he comes with was the biggest surprise in my opinion. And you might be thinking, what the hell could be so surprising about a shield? Well, when you turn it around, it has a handle. And it's a fully functioning handle on top of that. And this is something, for some reason, we really don't see a lot with shields. Because this is a pose you see so often in games. He's holding the shield like you would hold a shield. Like, you know, in real life you'd hold a shield. And this is something so few model kits can do, especially in higher tunnel century. Like, the latest shields, you can almost never do this. And you can, of course, just have the peg there, peg it in there, and have it both in the hand and connected to the arm. This is hands down one of the best shields I have ever seen. And the handle is strong enough to just stay upright, so you can even give that shield to other model kits, such as the gun cannon. And if you don't want to put the shield on the arm, just like the bazooka, you can put it on the back. Simply pegs on there into that hole, and there we go. Then the final things we get are two very nice open palm hands. As always, the inevitable question is, do you want to buy this? Or maybe the first question we should ask is, do you really want another RX-78-2? Because, well, there are quite a few of them out there. quite a few of them in many, many different scales. And well, of course you do. This kit is pretty damn awesome. And really the only thing I can possibly think that's kind of holding this Revive back is the sculpt of the head. Compared to all of the other RX-78-2s I've put here, the head is more, it feels more retro, has more of that dopey feel to it, instead of the usual Gundam head we get in like games or promotional stuff. So if you don't really mind that, this kit is probably one of the best RX-78-2s you can get. It has great articulation, comes with almost all the accessories you'd wanted to come with, because let's face it, we all wanted to come with the Beam Javelin, but you're unfortunately not getting that here. But, you know, really nice accessories, almost anything you'd want. And other than the head, it looks really good. So, if for some reason you do not have a 1/44 scale RX-78-2 yet, absolutely go for it if you like the head. And now then, for a quick rundown with the old RX-78-2, because maybe you're thinking, you know, the price is the same. Is there still a reason to get the old one, or is there a reason to upgrade if I already have the old one? Well, the thing of course is, the new one owns the old one in pretty much any aspect except for the looks, because the old one, it's more blocky but also has the more badass head, whereas the new one is a lot leaner, meaner, except for the slightly more dopey head. Now when it comes to accessories, both of them come with almost exactly the same accessories. 2 beam sabers, clear ping beams, bazooka, well, hyper bazooka, beam rifle, and both come with a shield. The one thing this guy has is the core fighter. So you can, it's safe to say that this guy has the core fighter, this guy sacrificed it for increased articulation, better parts, because they are the same price. So is there still a reason to get the old one? If you really like the head, I will say, I think this head looks 10 times better than that head. Is there a reason to upgrade if you already have the old one? Once again, if you like this guy's head, you should totally get this one, even if you already have the older ones. Now, what if, say, you already have the real grade? Then it really comes down to how much you like posing your model kits. And by posing, I mean every day. This is not a great kit if you want to pose your model kits every day. This is the kind of kit you put in a pose and you leave it there forever, because things are going to fall off. This guy is a lot more solid than the real grade, and just saying it like that is an incredible understatement. So whether you should buy this or the real grade really all depends on how much you like posing. If the real grade is going to look better, it's of course a lot more expensive, but in terms of articulation, they're pretty much equal. Like I said, this guy's going to fall apart, this guy is going to stay together. So you're gonna have to make up your own mind a bit with those facts. So what it all boils down to is that for 1,000 yen, this is a fantastic model kit. And the only reason I'm not screaming, get this thing right now, is because, well, there are 9,001 other RX-78-2s out there. This is by far the only one. So if you want to buy an RX-78-2, well, prepare to do some lookup work to see which RX-78-2 is right for you. But if you really cannot decide, there is no way you can go wrong with this thing if you don't mind the head. And really, the only thing that is objectively wrong with this is the hollow feet. And I'm saying that as kind of a good thing, like, that's really the only thing that's super wrong with this, the hollow feet. So, for size comparisons, here it is once again next to some of the other RX-78-2s. And I'm not gonna lie, but purely on looks alone, I would have to say that the Revive one is the least interesting looking one of the bunch here right now. Then here is next to some of the other remade machines, of course, the Revive gun cannon and the HGUC Ale Strike. But it seems like they're kind of getting the remakes of the seat model kits also in the Revive line, because the Freedom has now become a Revive. Oh well, I guess you can say that these are the 3 Revives that are out right now. And of course, I have to put the 3 Operation V model kits next to each other. So right now, this is the most modern Operation V set you can get in Gunpla. So now I'm wondering, are they going to give us a revive gun tank? There isn't a lot you can upgrade about the thing, but hey, then again, maybe they'll just do it for the heck of it. But it seems like on the box, when you see all three of them together, they did go for this gun tank. So who knows? I wonder, are we going to get a revived gun tank with some crazy articulation going on? Maybe like in the Origin gun tank where you do have some kind of suspension in the tank truss. So that could be pretty cool to see some, you know, of those gimmicks on the gun tank. And of course, what's a Gundam size comparison without a few Zaku's? And finally, here is next to the standard size Gym Custom and the always bulky Zaku 3. And that's all for this review, and see you guys next time.